All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about a huge problem in real estate. How in the world do you sell a property's potential when all a buyer sees is a big, empty, and honestly kind of confusing space? Well, we're going to break down a really simple but powerful idea that totally changes the game.
So let me ask you this. Why is an empty property so hard to sell? I mean, you'd think it would be the easiest thing in the world, right? It's a blank canvas. But for most people, staring into an empty room isn't inspiring. It's frustrating. It just leads to confusion and a total inability to make a decision.
And the answer, it turns out, is incredibly simple. It's not because the properties are bad. It's not because they lack potential. It's because they are, quite simply, hard to read. And this leads us to what you might call the empty space paradox. You see, for an architect or a designer, an empty room is exciting. It's pure opportunity. But for the rest of us, it's just a void. We can't picture where the couch goes. We can't imagine our daily life in there. We just can't read the space. And that feeling, it's paralyzing.
So what happens when we're faced with this unreadable space? What's our knee-jerk reaction? We jump straight to what we think is the solution. We rush to get a full renovation plan drawn up, or we start a detailed design project. But here's the thing. That's usually the wrong first step.
I mean, think about the traditional path. You see the empty space. Then you wait, sometimes for weeks, for architectural plans to come back. After that, you have to commit some serious money. And only then can you even think about starting the renovation. It's slow, it's expensive, and it's a huge gamble. All just to get someone to a potential yes.
But what if that entire sequence is completely backwards? What if there's a critical step that has to happen before a single dollar is committed, before any official plans are even drawn? Well, there is. There's a much faster, more focused way.
And that brings us to the core of this whole idea, making the space readable. Now listen, this is not about picking out pretty decorations or paint colors. No, this is about one thing, explanation. It's about providing a simple, clear interpretation that instantly unlocks a property's potential in a buyer's mind.
So what exactly is a spatial explanation? Think of it as a super-focused interpretation of what a property can become. The most important words here are clarity and understanding. This isn't some big art project. It's a strategic tool designed for one purpose, to make the potential of the layout completely obvious.
Let's break this down, because the distinction here is absolutely crucial. On one hand, you've got a spatial explanation. Its job is to provide clarity and show potential. It explains the layout. And notice that last line, it's a pre-decision tool. A finished design, on the other hand, that's about decoration, choosing furniture, and finalizing finishes. It's a post-decision project. Totally different stages, totally different goals.
And the process to get this clarity? It's deliberately simple. Step 1, you just analyze the layout as it is. Step 2, you identify its core potential, the hidden gems. And step 3, you create a clear interpretation that anyone can look at and just get. The reason this process is so fast is because it's so focused. The only goal is to make the space readable.
This quote really sums up the whole philosophy. It doesn't matter if you're using a sophisticated 3D model or just a sketch on a napkin. The point is not the tool, the point is clarity. All you're trying to do is give that buyer that aha moment where the space finally clicks and just makes sense.
Okay, so we've got the problem, and we've got this very focused solution. So let's talk about the impact. What happens when you provide this clarity? You get confidence, and that confidence is what accelerates the journey to yes.
And who benefits from this clarity? Well, pretty much everyone involved in the deal. Buyers can finally see themselves living in the space. Their confusion just melts away. Investors, they can see the potential for a return without having to wade through a mountain of complicated plans. And of course, the owners can sell their property so much faster because its true value is clear from the get-go.
So what's the bottom line here? When you put all this together, the focus on readability, using this as a pre-decision tool, this whole quest for clarity, what does it all lead to? What's the ultimate result?
This is it. You help people say yes faster. It's that simple. By removing the confusion and the uncertainty of an empty space, you remove all the friction from the decision-making process. And suddenly, the path to yes becomes shorter, clearer, and a whole lot less stressful.
And I want to be super clear on this next point. This process doesn't replace architecture or design. Not at all. It enables it. Think of it as the crucial first step that gives a buyer the confidence they need to actually hire the architect and commit to that bigger project. It's the key that unlocks the whole thing.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about.
When it comes to selling a space, what's more powerful? Showing someone an empty room and saying, here it is? Or explaining the potential of its layout and showing them what it can be? That right there is the difference between selling a space and truly selling its potential.